Hello everyone, how are you? In this video we will talk about some problem and the solution for this problem that you faced when you're using the Windows Server and the network in the virtual machine. The first thing, maybe you for example open the Windows Server and open the client, and you can see for example lab Ali. Now we have a user called Ali, but you forget the password or you didn't know who is Ali. You have two solutions to this. That's not a problem. There's not a problem. But if you forget a password, maybe it is considered as a problem. But also you can here, if you forget the password or you cannot access here, you cannot insert to the Ali, just go to the server and Ali in the Active Directory or domain controller, right? Ali is a user. The users and computer inside the domain controller. So just go to the domain controller, go to the tools, Active Directory users and computer, and here you can find or searching for Ali in the HR for example here. Now I can see Ali. Just right click on the Ali and reset password. And now I just make it for example 123 for example 123 again, and user must change. I don't need that, and okay. Now the password for Ali has been changed. Now the password 123. If you forget, now the password just 123 because I reset the password for the user for Ali, and they can access Ali now. Also you can, if you don't know Ali, who is Ali, you want to create a new one, just to create a new user. You create a new user, you know that. You can review the video about how to create a users and domain controller. Now for example switch, create a new user, Control Alt and insert. Just go to the other user and insert the user here and password. Sometimes also you cannot access the user even if you reset the password. You type the username in the right way and reset the password and create a password, and no problem. But also you cannot access the computer, the client. You cannot log in. You can see for example like this here. There are currently no login servers available to service the login request. If you faced like this problem, just go to or try to log in using the local user, local admin for the computer. In this client, for every client, we have a login, a user, administrator, or whatever the name of the user. For example, in my computer, also in the lab, the name of the computers or the name of the user in the computer, KH, for example. So here, just dot and backslash and the name of the local administrator. This admin KH, this admin for the local computer, not with the domain, because you cannot access the domain, for example, have a problem. So just like this and enter. The password incorrect, you can add the password if you have a password here. So I have password. Now I can access the local admin. Now I am not in the lab, but I am just in the local admin. Now after you log in successfully in the local admin or in the local user in this computer, first thing you can delete the password if you need, or the most important thing, if you want to make a user and try to rejoin to log in using the credential from the server, you should reset the user or reset the computer. You should disconnect the join between the client and the server and then rejoin again. How you can do that? Very easy. Just right click in the computer, my computer properties, and go to the change setting, change again. Now I am in the domain, but I have a problem with this domain. I cannot access this domain. I cannot log in. So just disconnect the join or dejoin from the computer, from the domain. You can add anything here. Okay, and okay. Here just add the username for the administrator, and then okay. Again now after disconnect the join, again join to the lab.com. Okay, also administrator and CSD capital Jihan 2020. Now I disconnect the join between the computer, the client, and the domain, and now rejoin again and just restart the computer. Everything will work. Now if we try to working with the GPO, group policy object, or group policy management, here open it and then forest, and I want to implement the domain, and I want to implement the group policy, for example on the HR. Just right click and create GPO. We talked about that previous, and here add any name and just OK. Now you can see that the specified server cannot perform the requested operation. Why this happened? Because we install the FSRM. We talk about that also. You can see here where it is, sorry, file server resource manager. If you install the file server resource manager in the server, the GPO will not work. In the most time, the GPO will not work. You should remove the file server resource manager and then work with the GPO. Why this? Because in the normal way, or in the normal situation, the file server resource manager and the domain controller and GPO should be in the separate server. I mean, the file server resource manager should be in the server and the domain controller and GPO in the another server. So it does not work together. Sometimes you can see many problems like this. But if you just remove this, will be work. How to remove a service? For example, you want to remove FSRM like this, or DNS or DHCP, anything. Just from manage, you have add rule if you want to install, and if you want to remove, just here remove rules, and same steps. Just next again. Now here I can see service. If I need to uninstall or remove any service, for example, I want to remove this file service resource manager. Sorry, here file server resource manager. Just click again here, remove feature, and then next and remove. Same steps like we install, but now in reverse. I want to remove. After remove the file server resource manager, you can easily make an GPO or create a GPO or group policy object. And now you can see close, and just you should restart the server after install something or remove something, especially remove. You should restart the server. After that the GPO will work. You can see now. So in this video we talk about how to create we talk about three problems. If you forget the password, and if you forget the password, just reset the password or create a new user and add the password. If you have a problem with log into the lab.com or to the domain with any user, even if the username and password is right, you should reset the user, reset the computer in the server. I mean, you should disconnect the join between the client and server and then rejoin again. How you can disconnect? Just by join to the work group and then again rejoin to the lab.com. Very easy. And also, if you have a problem with GPO, cannot create GPO, you can just delete or remove the file server resource manager and restart the computer. After that the GPO will work, and you can try it. And thank you very much.